Almost 16 years ago to the day, Hurricane Katrina came barreling through the Gulf of Mexico in 2005, bearing down on the southern city of New Orleans, wreaking havoc and destroying everything in its path. Little did the public know, a serial killer was on the loose in New Orleans at the same time, with his own record death tolls.
Yes,
West Side.
Jen, or
Oh my gosh.
This is the second time you've done this.
I'm offended for you.
He must be really annoyed with my comment if he confused me with you.
Yeah, for real.
So on this day, John had said, go pick up some purple haze at the store.
Purple Haze, the beer.
I almost got the purple haze goat cheese as well, because I was like, oh, well, like, you didn't specify beer.
I said pick up Purple Haze in the store and then pick up Purple Haze behind the store.
Did they not have the Purple Haze at Total Wine?
Well, I didn't go to Total Wine. That was my
did you go to
mistake.
TD's?
I went to TD's thinking they would have it. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is like a common beer. Apparently not that common. So I subbed.
I think it's raspberry, the Purple Haze.
Is it?
I think so.
You might be right. I like purple haze a lot. So I had to substitute because I was like, oh, shoot, I got to go to Total Wine now. And I was like, no, don't bother. So I got something that was, it had purple text, purple writing, and was a haze beer. It's called Contact Haze.
This is by the same company.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. The Purple Haze is by Ariba or something. I do like the Purple Haze goat cheese though.
What is that? What is that?
It's goat cheese with, I think, lavender.
Oh,
Lovely.
I have some goat cheese at home with cranberry, which is really good. Which I was gonna
some
put
crackers
out for a charcuterie board at my party, but did not end up having.
But you did get a charcuterie board.
I did. I'm excited to use it. I'm gonna definitely pull that out at my cocktail party this year because I think that'll probably be the next big party that I have is my Christmas cocktail party.
Big cock.
Good for you, John. You're learning words.
Well, I do have a few Patreon members to mention. I think we've got Rachel up in Canada who has joined us.
Thanks, Rachel.
Matthew and James.
Thank you, Matthew and James.
Both biblical names.
Yes, I was going to say, where are Luke? And we already have a John, so we just need a Luke.
Paul. And this one, I'm going to dedicate it to James because he is rejoined on a couple of occasions. So I'm going to count this one for James.
Well, thank you, James. Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise.
This is the perfect shot for a very hot summer day.
Ooh. I think I know.
Cheers.
Cheers. Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God.
Tastes like tanning oil.
It does.
I really didn't want to do anything too strong yet. Welcome to the Talk Murder to Me podcast. My name is John. I'm here with Jen and Naquiz. This is episode 254, right? 254?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can find all the photos, videos, sources on talkmurder.com. You can share the blog post there if you want. And also, if you want to enter into the contest we have for the new podcast called What Happened To, which is a podcast exploring strange disappearances. And it is set to lo-fi hip-hop. Very fun to produce. Me and Brianne from Among the Dirt and Trees do that podcast together. Go check that out. The contest is on there as well. And I'll just go ahead and give you the link so you guys can go there and enter the contest. And that is talkocast.com. So talkocast.com/win. talkocast.com/win. And there's multiple entry options available. For instance, you can share You can get a free entry just for going to that page. You can get additional entries by like sharing it on Facebook or Twitter or subscribing to the podcast. Leave a review. You'll get 5 extra entries, stuff like that. Tonight we are talking about a serial killer. Also, the episode for Thursday, we put out episodes Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Thursday episode is also a serial killer. Both of these men have killed about the same number of victims, and you probably haven't heard of any of these killers. The first one, as we're going to talk about, happened here in America, but was overshadowed. His crimes and his arrest was overshadowed in 2005 by a big event. What happened in 2005?
We graduated from 8th grade.
Shit.
Yeah, we did.
What happened?
Wow.
What happened in 2005 in Louisiana?
Oh, Hurricane Katrina.
Katrina.
They're about to get hit again
Oof.
with the Hurricane Ida. That's a Category 4.
I mean,
Ooh, is it? Oh, geez.
I'm not trying to be a dick, but stop fucking building right there on the damn shore, man.
Meanwhile, our dream is to buy a house right on the beach.
Yes.
I mean, they built that shit up again. It's like, fuck, obviously.
You know what about hurricanes? I feel like back home, that was one of the only natural disasters that we could get other than a blizzard, but we weren't really hit hard by them.
No. Sandy was the only one that, like, really,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was bad.
All right, Nicole. So let's start the story. Can you please describe this man for us?
He looks like one of the Wayans brothers, and the lady looks like Uma Thurman.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe what this friendly pair looks like.
I don't actually know the context behind this particular photo, but this is one of the only ones available of him. This is Oliver LeBanks. This is where we're starting the story tonight. He is the victim. And we're actually going to October 3rd, 1998 in Louisiana.
Is she relevant to this story?
No, this is a random photo of him. There's obviously not many photos
Okay.
of the victims here.
I want to go to New Orleans still. I haven't gone.
Yeah, I've never been there either.
I don't. I mean,
I would not. I used to say like Mardi Gras was a bucket list item.
Oh, no.
But now,
Too much.
definitely no.
Too much of a clusterfuck.
I would like to go and have some beignets and like some really good po' boys and stuff like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I would go for a food experience.
I would
solely.
I would still want to party, but I wouldn't want to be involved in Mardi Gras. Like, it's
Yeah.
too much.
Hear some jazz.
Yeah, I would go for jazz.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like now that this is going to sound so
Are you going to
stupid.
say now that you're over 30?
Now that I'm 30, I feel like that's something that normally I wouldn't say. Be like, I don't want to go for a party experience. But now I feel like...
now you're all mature and shit.
It's like how Hubble suddenly aged when we got Luna.
He's a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
Jen's all mature, so if you want to listen to the unmature Jen, go and listen to episodes 1 through 252. Where you can hear Jen rolling around, on the floor and passing out.
Listen, I know. Like, here I am. I'm like, I don't want to go for a party. And then I was like, I bought non-alcoholic beer for the golf tournament tomorrow. Like,
So I
Yeah.
don't get wasted at my school event.
I was gonna comment on that earlier. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's not Jen.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of like, our audience kind of expects a certain Jen.
I gotta grow up sometime. I know. I'm like buying a car, have a house. Like, oh,
The
who
big
am
times.
who am I?
A dog, like you care for another being.
I know, and he's still alive 6 months later.
Look at you.
Oh, it's been more than 6 months.
Yeah.
Fucking barely hanging on.
He is doing. He's thriving.
We'll see how it goes after he spends a weekend with us and our
Oh
dogs.
my gosh.
All right, let's get on with tonight's story. We are reading a book tonight. I read a book for this story called The Bayou Strangler.
Ooh.
The Bayou Strangler is by Fred Rosen.
On the bayou.
And if you guys aren't familiar with True Blood.
Oh, yeah. Oh, remember we started that?
Yeah, I watched like 5
watched
episodes.
all of it. What are you talking about?
When
We
I
were
was
all
here,
going to watch it together.
and then we just didn't.
I
after
watched that with my other friends.
I watched it by myself, you know.
Did you start that 9 Perfect Strangers yet?
Not yet. Did you?
I did. I saw the first 3 episodes, but I have to see if the other ones are up.
Tonight we were reading the Bayou Strangler, Louisiana's most gruesome serial killer
More so than the Jazz Man?
by Fred Rosen.
Ooh.
Fred Rosen has also written a couple other books that I used for my stories. Number 1 would be The Body Dump, Kendall Francois, the Poughkeepsie Killer. Remember, he was killing prostitutes?
Yep.
And he also, I'm pretty sure, wrote The Crab Story.
Oh, the Crab Hands?
Yeah.
That was like episode 4.
Oh, yeah.
I actually used a lot of his books. Yeah, he wrote Lobster Boy, which I used that book. So I've used quite a bit of his books.
We're having lobster tonight. That was a fun episode.
I've used a couple of his books.
That still is one of my favorite drinks that we've made.
Mm-hmm.
Who you're looking at right now is Oliver LeBanks. He is a slim African-American man. How old does he look there?
30. Between 28 and 30. Maybe 34.
28 to 35.
So he is 27 years old.
Damn it.
Actually, probably younger there. Oh, maybe 27.
Shit.
Well, shit.
This story is starting at October 3rd, 1998 at 740 Burgundy Street. Seriously, Jen?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Jesus. You are fucking mature.
Wow.
Jesus, fuck. Well, I guess you guys should find a new podcast. Because this one's...
Hang on. We just need to do one more surprise shot and immature Jen will come out.
So you're looking at 740 Burgundy Street, New Orleans. And obviously it's not there anymore, but this...
Why is it obvious?
Because this is a home and not a gay bar called the Rawhide.
Oh.
That's why it's obvious to me.
What a name.
The Rawhide.
What a name.
So this used to be the Rawhide.
Well, I feel stupid for speaking before you got to all the details.
That's why it's obvious. Because this is a respectable home, not a...
That's interesting.
That sounds like a fun time.
Okay, so this is New Orleans right here.
Nolans.
This is why I don't want to go here. It's shit. I mean, I shouldn't say that because we got listeners there. But from Charleston, because, we got a kind of a rivalry with you guys. Do we? Well, we're both Southern.
It's definitely Charleston versus Savannah.
Well, here's the thing about...
If anything.
Here's the thing about Charleston.
Charleston all day. I'm not a huge fan of Savannah. I have friends that live there, but I just don't feel the same way.
You know what Savannah has going for it?
Moss trees.
Open containers.
Oh, that's true.
Get your drink in a to-go cup and take it to your next place. That's pretty cool.
Mm.
New Orleans is like that.
Savannah also has a Paula Deen restaurant.
It does?
Yeah.
It could be a reason to either go or avoid.
Myrtle Beach has one too, I think.
The Rawhide in 1998 was the place to get it pumped.
Not for dogs.
Rawhide.
It was a gay... What is that from? Is that from a show?
Yeah, it's a song.
From who? Who did the show Rawhide make famous in the 70s or 60s?
Burt Reynolds.
In the 60s? Is he that old? Yeah, I guess he is that old.
I know he was at least 70s, yeah.
No, but he was...
In the 1960s...
I don't know if that's correct or not.
In the 1960s, a TV show called The Rawhide, who starred an actor who is now famous and still alive.
Oh, so not Burt Reynolds. Could be Al Sharpton, though. Except he's not an actor. He is a minister who is very much alive.
Yeah, I would like to know if we got any fans out there that remember this show, watching it on their, I guess, color TV.
That's the theme song.
They had color TV then.
That I was singing. That's the Rawhide theme song.
So that show made a small actor known as Clint Eastwood.
Oh, I was going to say that.
No, you were not.
My dad knew him. My dad knew him.
Clint Eastwood is the man.
He's a punk bitch.
He has a hot son.
Yeah.
You ever seen Scott Eastwood?
Yeah, he made an appearance in Gran Torino.
He is very easy on the eyes.
Okay.
He was like
I would... no, I'm not going to finish that sentence, but you can see probably where I'm going.
Ew. You're talking about raw dogging. Raw dogging. Let's raw dog it. I ain't got a condom. You want to raw dog it? October 3rd, 1998, at the Rawhide, 740 Burgundy Street. Oliver LeBancs goes there with his brother and a few of his friends. Now, Oliver does have a girlfriend, which this doesn't make him a homosexual, but he was there for a specific reason. He went there to sell himself for money.
Like Deuce Bigelow. The male gigolo.
Yeah. He was a slim African-American man, 27. He didn't actually have an occupation, but he did do things to make money, like sell drugs and even pickpocketing the tourists that come through Louisiana, to come through Louisiana. And he also sold his body for sex, which is what the Rawhide bar was known for in 1998. If you wanted to go there and get sex from either one or two types of people, there's two types of people. The two types of people are leather or Levi's. The older... Why are you shaking your head? Which one are you, Jen? Leather. Well, so with this bar in particular, how I understand it is older gentlemen looking to buy sex would frequent this bar a lot. This is what it was known for. I mean, the name was the Rawhide, right? They would bring their money, and inside the bar, they could pick either two types of people, either leather or Levi's. The leather was worn by the older boys, and they kind of ran the bar. Okay, so this is a whole synchronized operation going on here. The Levi's were the younger boys, and they didn't go into the turf of the leather guys because they're, the seniors or whatever. But they all sold sex. So a guy wanting to get his rocks off, he can either choose between a young or an old, and he can distinguish really quickly by the type of attire that person is wearing, either leather or Levi's. Which I would be leather, probably. I do both. This particular night was extremely crowded, so any spotting and recognizing the one man that we're going to talk about tonight, the killer, the Bayou Strangler, would be impossible because there's so much people. LeBancs goes into the bar. He splits up from his brother and his other friends. Now, they didn't know his brother didn't know at least, that he was selling his body for sex. So he kind of kept that on the down low. But he goes up to the bar, and there is this man, this guy right here. His name is Ronald Dominique. And Nicole, if you want to describe this guy for us, this is the killer. This is the Bayou Strangler.
Ugh.
That's not a description.
Isn't it, though? He is a large, balding man with a goatee. He looks like someone you would want to automatically stay away from.
Mm.
His eyes kind of freak me out. They're
actually just a tad close together.
He looks lonely.
Yeah, he is a very lonely man. Very lonely man. His eyes might look that close together because his face is so large,
They look too close together.
Oliver LeBancs goes up to the bar, and Ronald Dominique is sitting there looking lonely, but he's got a wad of cash, and he knows exactly what to do with it. LeBancs comes up to him, says that one word or a couple words, "Hey, you like to party?" And he said, "Yeah, I like to party." Now, this is interesting. I guess they still do that here if you're going to buy a prostitute. You don't say, "Hey, how much is the market value for a blowjob right now?" You say, you say, can I give you money or do you need money? Like basically, can I loan you money? Now, this was what they did. So he basically said, how much money do you need for me to loan you? And LeBanc said, about 20 or 30 bucks. And that was a sign for a blowjob. So, okay, 30 bucks for a blowjob. They bounce out of the club because he's going to go get his money. Ronald Dominique, when asked where his car was, said it was really close, which was a lie. He lied to him right there. It was actually pretty far away. The two men walked down St. Anne Street. They walked through the French Quarter and past Bourbon Street, which let's go to Bourbon Street.
You know what's funny is I think that the gay club in Charleston is on Ann Street.
I believe you are correct.
Dudley's.
Yep.
So this is Bourbon Street. You see where we were? They're going pretty far. Like we were back, but this is 5 or 6 blocks. So they're walking 5 or 6 blocks. They take a left here. They're going down Bourbon Street. And then by Jack's Brewery, JAX, it's probably not still there. What does it say, Louisiana?
New Orleans.
Oh, shit, it is there. Well, it's still there.
Well, maybe it's not a brewery because it said shops at Jack's Brewery. So maybe it's shops.
Then why would it have the word brewery on it? It's weird.
Because that's just what people knew it for.
So, I mean, look how far they walked. All
That's
the way
far.
over here. They actually walked about 6 blocks east. And we're looking at Google Earth, so I'm kind of doing this. 6 blocks south. And then another 6 blocks they go in the other direction. And they end up in this shady little place in a parking lot. It may have even been this parking lot right here before it was all built out. There was no one in there. The only car parked in there was Ronald Dominique's, and that was a 1983 Chevy Malibu. So automatically, LeBanc knows that something isn't right, but he also needs to make a quick trick so he can get money. 30 bucks is not bad for walking 12 blocks, you know?
Right.
And obviously sucking a dude's wiener. That's in the price too. All right. They get in the car. Nobody is in the parking lot. And Jen, if you want to read some of this stuff, it's actually very necessary for the story. It's not just because it has the word penis in it a bunch of times.
I was going to say, if you're asking me to read, you either need an accent or it's something that I'm not going to want to read.
Yeah, no, accent. Yeah, do an accent. Yeah, that's what I wanted you to read. Make sure you do the accent, okay?
What accent? What accent do you need?
I guess Louisiana accent.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, just read it like you normally would. Jen.
LeBanc went down on him.
Well, do it in a Louisiana accent.
I don't know.
Southern drawl.
Okay.
Well, you want me to do it? I'll do it.
No, I can do it.
It's a drawl.
Are you sure? I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead then.
No, you do it.
Okay, that's what I thought. LeBanc went down on him. LeBanc sucked Dominique's penis until Dominique twisted LeBanc around so that they sucked each other simultaneously.
That's called number 69.
Now lay on your stomach, Dominique instructed. He had not negotiated for that. Fucking would be more.
So you understand 69, right?
Yes, I understand.
The two numbers.
That's good. Thanks.
Jesus Christ.
The bodies are now numbers. We understand.
All right. The two men are 69ing in the car, and all of a sudden, Dominique, which is the killer, the Bayou Strangler, turns LeBanc over on his stomach. And he kind of demands him to do that. Now, LeBanc is skinny, no real muscle, kind of lanky. And in comparison, Ronald Dominique, the Bayou Strangler, is a rather large man. We're talking 230, 240, big dude, fat, not like muscular.
Is he short?
No, he's, regular height, 6 foot. But he's just a round dude, you know? You saw his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically throws his weight on LeBancs at this point. Now, this is going to be the MO for all of the victims tonight, is he uses his weight to throw him over, and then he basically rapes LeBancs because they didn't actually negotiate for the fucking, which would have been more money. So at this point, he is crushing him with his weight. Since you read so much, Nicole, maybe we can let Jen take a stab at it.
With LeBanc struggling to get out from under the big man's weight, Dominique pushed his penis into the man's rectum. LeBanc protested that he was being hurt, but Dominique was relentless. He pushed harder and harder until finally he ejaculated. Thank you, John, for the opportunity.
At this point, now this is the MO going forward. What we know that Ronald Dominique has killed about 23 people, maybe more. At least 23 has been verified that he has killed. So, and the MO is exactly the same with all of them, except the first one, which we'll get into. But Ronald Dominique says, quote, after he's raped his victim, quote, now get on top of me and rub your thing on me, end quote. So he's talking about his penis.
Right.
He wants LeBancs to get on top of him and rub his penis on him. And the book says...
Where?
Well, the book says, LeBancs got on top of Dominique and began rubbing his penis against the guy's flabby ass. And it usually says flabby ass. Dominique thought he felt some penetration, and that was it. And what he means by that was it is that is the point where Ronald Dominique, the Bayou Strangler, snaps, because he doesn't want to ever be penetrated. The reason is, and I didn't know this was a thing, and it makes me cringe a little bit, is because he was raped before and he was split. That's what they call it, when your anus splits. Oh, like your butthole splits open.
Yucky.
Like from that Alien movie, and the alien's coming out.
I've never seen that movie. Shocker.
But it's really just a doo-doo.
Oh.
Jen, you're too mature for this podcast. I can tell.
Are you firing me?
I think it just means we need to drink more. That's what I think that means.
Maybe.
Ronald Dominique was raped in the past. He was split. And I don't know, maybe some listener
I didn't know it could split for guys. I'm just going to say.
What do you mean?
I knew it could split for women when they give birth.
Oh.
There's two holes there that can
We have
become
3
one.
holes.
Oh, that's not a thing.
When women give birth, it can be a thing.
Oh, so doo-doo comes out the V too?
No,
it can,
well,
the
V can become the B.
The V can split into
It's
the
called
V.
the A.
Well,
V to A.
but you said booty hole.
The V can split to the A.
No, I said, does doo-doo come out of the V if it's one?
Well, you usually use the term booty hole. So,
but there's nothing. There's no additional hole for men. So I'm assuming.
What do you mean? The boot hole?
no,
The boots.
you have one. We have 3 holes. You have 1 hole.
But I'm just saying, when a woman gives birth, it can tear to the A.
If it's coming out of the vagina.
Correct. Giving birth. This is a rather frequent occurrence.
Which
and
is
they have
why
to
you have to
stitch
do your
together.
Kegels.
They
Do
have
your
to
Kegels.
stitch it together.
Well, it can either come out of the vagina or the butthole.
No, it doesn't come out of the butthole.
The baby comes out of the V.
My dad used to always tell me I came out of the butt.
I would believe
a
that.
lot.
I would believe that for you.
But I'm not sure for a man it's not splitting into another
it just
hole.
tears. It just
Yeah, it
becomes
just
larger.
tears. This is called splitting. It sounds fucking painful.
I just wanted to clarify.
It
you know
sounds
what?
fucking painful.
I want to I don't know. I found
What
myself.
do you mean? Where are you going with this? What do you mean? What do
She's
you
like,
want?
I want to update my 401k and, you know,
I have a Roth now.
refinance my
I don't
house.
have a Roth. No, I was thinking about
Look at
refinancing.
my assets and do my balance
I was
sheet.
thinking the other day how much I've wanted kids in the past, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I would have to like take care of another human and like birth a human. Well, I wouldn't have to technically birth a human. I could adopt a
Well, you
human,
could always just
which
steal
is fine.
one.
Also an option.
But I mean, I don't know if I want to birth a human. It scares me. I'm frightened.
Yeah. You should be.
frightened
It's a
of the-
bloodbath down there.
I'm frightened of the whole process from the beginning to the birth.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. It's fucking gross.
So maybe I will just stay celibate forever, just to avoid that.
You
whole
don't
thing.
need to do that. I'm just saying.
The whole process frightens me.
But you don't have to. You don't have to stay celibate just for that reason.
No, I'm saying the whole process like frightens me. The whole thing.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm scared.
There's no need to be scared.
So Ronald Dominique was split, and I guess if you're split in the past, it's easy to become more, resplit. So as soon as he felt some penetration, which is in all of his victims, I mean, he knew he was going to kill this guy, just like all of his other victims.
Yeah,
But this
this is his excuse.
yeah, this is the turning point. As soon as Dominique felt the man's penis going inside of him, he flipped, basically, and this is the MO. He reaches under his car seat of his 1983 Chevy Malibu. He grabs a tire iron, and he swings it as hard as he can, and he bludgeons the side of Oliver LeBank's head. And this is from the book. It says, the man's brain began leaking out
Oh no.
blood inside the cranium. He hits the tire iron across his head and, quote, the brain began leaking out blood inside the cranium. He hit this guy so hard in the head. Now think about it. This is in the cab and they're both naked. This is in the cab of a Chevy Malibu, which back then cars were larger in size, like inside, but still with the big boy of 240 pounds, Ronald Dominique, the Bayou Strangler, there's not a lot of room to reach back with his arm.
Unless the window was open.
The window wasn't open, completely shut. So he reached back as far as he could, but there's not a lot of room. And he just, with all his strength, and this isn't strength like go to the gym. This is very important. This is strength built up from the time he was 13 and in the schoolyard when he was called a, quote, fag, and he knew he was gay, and all this stuff. Part of his motivation, and a lot of the killers that we do that are homosexual, but they usually won't admit it, even though their victims are other males. If you think like Herb Baumeister, their rage, their strength to hit someone on the head with a tire iron is coming from that pin-up oppression and abuse and the bullies and pushing them as a child and being in the closet, too afraid to come out. That is where this is coming from.
Can you imagine how fewer crimes and murders we would have had if homosexuality was, I mean, and even now it's not like they've made a large, society has made a huge
Amount of progress.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. But can you imagine back in the day if it was as accepted as it is now? And even still, there's still prejudice out there. But if it was as widely accepted now as it was, could you imagine if it was as accepted then as it is now, how fewer crimes that we would have and how fewer murders we would have? Because a lot of people, because they find their victims and they act out based on their own trauma and oppression and things like that. Like, think about it.
It'd probably be more, actually, because then they'd be more open to dating and stuff. So they would have more victim opportunities. So yeah, probably more, Jen.
No,
I don't think so.
I think it would be fewer because you're saying like you think that
He's just trying to be difficult.
I know he's trying to be difficult. But they wouldn't have to hide it, and they wouldn't be as made fun of. I feel like people are more accepting now than back then, and like kids especially.
Yeah, in America.
Yeah,
that's true.
Go to other countries.
But this is in America, the crime that we're talking about.
This is also in the Bayous, Louisiana, Jen. That's different. There's something that is in this story that really shocked me. This is a modern story, people. This happened in 1998, and the author goes down this path that I didn't even know was a thing in the really remote, isolated parts of Louisiana. You know, the bayous, the swamps, the alligators, the Creole, all that stuff. When there ain't a neighbor in miles, and I mean, let's just be honest, you got the trailer here, you know, you're staying at your sister's in your sister's yard. In these isolated places, there is a tradition, a Creole tradition. That's the term that he uses in the book. And I'm just going to kind of read what he says. It's kind of crazy. He says, it says, quote, "They said that some Cajuns accepted parents." Now this is modern. Accepted parents having sex with their children as the natural order of things.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Because I think I misheard you.
He's talking about the isolated swamps of Louisiana, that some Cajuns accept the parents having sex with their own children as the natural order of things.
So I did hear you correctly. I heard you correctly.
Just fucking crazy. Okay. That shit's still going on. But I mean, if you think about it, like, all right, we make fun of West Virginia, but if you're stuck up in the mountains and there ain't no other families around you, and you don't have the transportation to go everywhere because you're literally living on a fucking mountain, you know, your sister looks a lot better than she would if you were living in the city with a bunch of other women. You know what I'm saying? That's why they do that, because there's no other opportunity to serve their
It's like
their
the
needs.
episode in Brooklyn 99. They were talking about mono, and
I haven't seen them yet.
Just you wait.
Okay, so before y'all got me all screwed up, I'm going back. The space in the car, in the cab, is not large enough to swing back and hit him. But LeBanks was hit so hard, and you saw him. He's looks like he got a pretty normal, thick head. He was hit so hard in the side of his head that he instantly suffered twin concussions.
Twin concussions.
Boom, right there.
I've never even heard of that, and this is coming from a person who's had at least 6.
Yeah.
But you never had twin concussions.
That's what I'm saying.
Ronald Dominique then started choking him. He takes off his belt. Now, this guy is twitching at this point. The book literally talks about how he's twitching. He takes a belt, wraps it around his neck, and just starts tightening it with the belt. But for some reason, and the belt marks are in the neck when they find the body. Even though the body is pretty decomposed, because even though they found it a day later, apparently in Louisiana, in the humid, hot bayous and the swamps, bodies decompose extremely fast. So if you're in the market, you know, getting rid of a body or two, Louisiana and the bayous, it'll be gone within a week. Okay. Anyway, he is twitching. The belt, his belt is around his neck, so tight that it bites completely into the skin, so much so that it touches the arteries and kind of cuts into the arteries. And then he takes the belt off and finishes the job with his hands. And the book talks about the death rattle, where you know that when the body kind of just that final let go, if you will, of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for him. Now, this wasn't the first victim. And here's the thing about Ronald Dominique, the Bayou Strangler, is he's got to dump the body. But guess what? He is in Louisiana. He could go down any side street, dump the body, and we would not be doing this story. They would never find the body. There's so many gators out there. It decomposes way too fast. It's so easy to hide a dead body in Louisiana.
But
if you go to Google Earth, there's plenty of places that you can find where you can put a body that no one will see it. But he doesn't want to do that. He wants the body to be found. He
wants the notoriety and fame of the killer, right?
All of his life, he has been ridiculed. He has been called a loser. He has had these menial, shitty jobs. He has never had a girlfriend. He's known as a nice guy, as we'll talk about, but people are nice and friendly, but no one wants to be fucking friends with him, okay, at all. All of his life, he has felt that isolation and that kind of rejection, even though people weren't mean when he's older, because he's a big dude. No one's going to be mean to a big dude, but they're friendly. But I can't come over for dinner because, I got to wash my hair type of shit. So no one's friends with him. So after all of that, he wants some sort of recognition. He wants to be appreciated in some way. And the only way he can do it is to make sure these bodies are found. And as I said, these bodies would quickly decompose anywhere else. But he drives towards the airport and he goes on the airline drive, like right by the airport on Federal Highway 61. He goes off a little side street and he dumps the body right on the side of the road where passerby will definitely see the body. And they did within a few hours. Most of these bodies were found within 4 fucking hours, which is, we've never done like a serial killer where he's hiding a body and 4 hours later they find it.
Right.
It's usually like 12 or hunters find it or whatever. This is 4 hours later. Someone's just riding by and there's a dead body. The bodies aren't staged per se. They are missing their pants or their shirt. The shirt's always off. And these are all muscular type of hustlers, prostitutes, The pants are usually pulled down, like in LeBank's case, and they're just tossed out like trash, usually on their knees, face down, ass up. You know what I'm saying?
That's the way we like to fuck.
That's the way they're found. So, and another interesting thing is cops didn't find hardly any DNA at all. They found the reason we're talking about the LeBank's one is because this is the one they actually found very slight DNA, which was mitochondrial DNA, which is not the one that directly links you to the crime.
No, but the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
That's very mature. The cops thought he was using either condoms or, it wasn't, or whatever. He cleaned up, but no, it just, the humidity of Louisiana eats that shit away quick.
Cray.
It is cray.
This guy didn't even really make the newspapers because when he did get caught, after killing 23 people, Hurricane Katrina was all that people talked about, especially in that
area, yeah.
In that area. So let's talk about the first victim right quick. David Mitchell, 19-year-old African-American, last seen July 13, 1997 in St. Charles Parish. The body was discovered on Highway 3160 a few hours later. He was anally raped and drowned. So this is interesting because this is the first victim. And the MO after this victim right here is going to change and be pretty steady. So this guy, David Mitchell, was drowned. And I imagine he drowned him to try to get rid of the evidence, the semen and stuff like that. But the second victim wasn't. The second victim was another African-American, killed 5 months later. There was a cooling down period of 5 months. He was found dead on December 14th in St. Charles Parish, the same place. He was actually found 4 feet away from where the other body was found.
Wow.
Obviously, the cops get a lot of backlash about this. Oh, how can you let them kill 23 people? Number one, they were prostitutes, all of these people, and this is a gay male case, right? This isn't, yeah, I mean, it's just not that popular. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's just not that popular. They don't want to fuck with it because, you know, I mean, no one's going to, like, especially in Louisiana where homosexuality is still kind of looked down upon in a lot of places.
Well, let's be real. It's looked down upon in a lot of places, not just Louisiana.
Yep.
But this ain't some 15-year-old white cheerleader, you know. These are prostitutes, hustlers, and stuff like that in Louisiana. So anyway, the third victim, I'm just going to kind of run through these a little bit, and then we'll get to his background and stuff like that. The third victim, Larry Ranson, same thing. Now, this one's sort of a change. This told the police that he didn't really have an age preference. This man here was 38 years old. And there's like no photos of these people, guys. There's, you know, nothing. Now, these victims, all up until the 23rd one, will die the same way. And that is asphyxia. That is asphyxiation by compression of the neck. So basically, belt around the neck, choked, and then dumped. Some of these victims will be dumped in a dumpster. Some of these victims will be dumped laying halfway out of the dumpster. Some of these will be dumped on the side of the dumpster. One of them will be thrown over a wire fence, like a dead squirrel or some shit.
I just like
over a wire fence.
It's terrible, you know. It's like they're thrown away like they're garbage, but they're humans. They deserve way better than that.
They don't deserve to be killed at all.
I agree. I mean, yeah, obviously that, but you know, as victims, you should at least
no respect.
Yeah, there's no respect. They're not trash. You know, you're trash by killing them.
All right, so the background of Ronald Dominique, which, you know, when I look at this guy, I don't know, maybe it's just a Louisiana thing, but Dominique, it just doesn't seem like, is that?
That's a French name.
Is it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's, it's the female version of the name Dominic.
Let's talk about the background of the Bayou Strangler. In school, he was called all the names. He was called a loser and made fun of. Now, he was still in the closet through his entire childhood. But, you know, these kids, they just know, right? And they saw right through that. He would say he's not gay, but they could see through it. And in this part of Louisiana, that wasn't accepted at the time. And he grew up in the 70s. So this was the 70s in Louisiana, especially where he was. He grew up in Thibodeau. He actually was a extremely talented singer.
Huh.
He sung in the Glee Club and in the high school chorus. And throughout his adulthood, he is known, besides the whole killing, before the whole killings, he is known throughout the community as an impersonator, a really good impersonator of Patti LaBelle. He is obsessed with Patti LaBelle, and he does these shows where he impersonates her, and that's who people know him as, Patti LaBelle.
Like, he does drag?
Yeah, as Patti LaBelle.
Got it.
We should go to a drag brunch.
That would be fun. I think is there one in Charleston?
Yeah, there are. There are multiple ones.
He grew up with 6 other siblings. Not only was he made fun of for being homosexual, he was also made fun of for being extremely poor. His whole family lived in abject poverty, and they were made fun of. After he was arrested, he claimed that one of the things that made him kill was his childhood. When he was a small child, he was molested by a priest, which the parents didn't believe. I mean, priests don't do that. I don't know where he would come up with that from, but that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. So we don't know if that's true or not.
Why are you looking at me? Are you looking for me to react?
He's hoping for something.
Well, listen, you know, you don't want to disbelieve an abuse victim.
No, but I'm saying priests don't do that. And at this time period,
No, never.
the Catholic Church would never do a nationwide cover-up and send priests that are accused of molestation to different parishes and different priesthoods around the country. That just doesn't work. It's not some mass cover-up.
You're trying to get me riled up.
He's trying.
But sex with children was common, as I talked about earlier. Cajuns in some parts of Louisiana believe that parents have the right to have sex with their children as the, quote, natural order of things. Ronald Dominique is the type of person that will keep his Christmas decorations up all year.
Oh, no.
That's
bad. Yeah, you don't keep your Christmas decorations.
What are those?
Me, who just drained the coolers of a party that I had 2 weeks ago, even I do not keep my Christmas decorations up all year round.
That's the reason he's bad.
That's it. That's the last straw. Can't handle it.
But no, it's not because he's lazy. He likes it.
I have heard of people who get so pissed off about that, like outdoor Christmas lights, who will like take them down for their neighbor. Like, pisses them off so much.
I'm not that far because,
but we may get to the point, Jen, where we paint your neighbor's house and fence.
Yes, but I mean, like, if it were my neighbor who left their Christmas decorations,
I don't have to look at it every day.
Honestly, I don't look at it every day because I don't go outside every day. Like, if it's the weekend, I don't necessarily go outside on a Saturday.
It should cheer you up. It's all cheerful colors.
But if my other neighbor who has a 10-foot Santa in their yard left their Christmas decorations up all year round, that's another story. That's someone who would get their Santa's calves slashed.
You get like a chainsaw.
But what if it was a bunch of like Jesus stuff, like Jesus in the cradle?
The manger.
Would you go slash Jesus's knees?
No, I wouldn't do that. But I mean,
break some Jesus kneecaps.
Like, light the manger on fire?
Goddamn wise men.
No, I would not do that. I would just politely ask them to please put it away. But I mean,
Jesus Christ.
God damn it, get Jesus Christ out of here.
But the Santa is literally taller than their home.
It's taller than the house. Yeah, it's a 2-story Santa Claus.
It literally is a 2-story
house.
Santa. And then they also I'm pretty sure they also have the helicopter Santa Claus as well.
Ooh, yeah.
Like
you get a good neighborhood.
No, I like my neighborhood because it's I love my house. I've done a lot of work there. It's fine other than at Christmas, and then my neighbor, I guess that is going to be year long, having a lime green fence with a yellow and blue house. It's fine. I don't have to live there forever, but I do love my house. Like, honestly, like, if I could just, I block out everything else that goes on inside of it. Like, my house is suited for me. I have a bar. I have a room. I have a
bar. That's the first thing you say.
It has alcohol.
I have beer. I have whiskey.
We've got immature Jen back.
I've got beer, wine, whiskey, shots of fucking
and tequila.
Patron. Like,
someone drank my vodka, which is fine because I don't drink that.
What about a bed? Like
it has a Murphy bed in the bar. I have my dog.
Murphy bed for Murphy, and that's all we eat.
I have 2 Murphy beds, Murphy's bed, and then the Murphy bed in my bar, which is also a guest room. It's fine.
This guy was pretty unassuming. His employment at the time of the killings. So basically, the killings are split in half. Ronald Dominique killed between 1997 and 2006. That was the times that he was killing. Okay, so they're pretty much split down the middle with his victims, because in November 1999, after he's killed half of his victims, the police finally released a sketch of Ronald Dominique, and it looks nothing like him.
Oh, do you have the sketch? Is it one of those really terrible police sketches?
Well, yeah, I'll show you. But it looks nothing like him, but right after police released that sketch, Ronald Dominique quits his job, and at the time he is a maintenance worker for the St. Charles Parish where he lives. He is a regular maintenance worker. They release a sketch November 1999. He immediately quits his job and drives his trailer down about 40 miles to Huma, out there on Bayou Blue Road. He parks his trailer in front of his sister's home. And that's where he's going to commit his killings now on. So about 40 minutes away about 40 minutes away in a different part of Louisiana. Okay. So, but the MO pretty much stays the same. And it took them a while to link a serial killer to all these. And it's most likely because they're homosexuals and no one cared. And they're prostitutes. And it's, Louisiana. Well, it's poor Louisiana. The poor part's Louisiana, let's just say that. His first arrest was June 1985. And that was for, quote, making dirty phone calls.
Ew.
Yeah, no. I should probably slow that down a little bit.
Yeah. Just calm that down.
He was charged with telephone harassment and he pleaded guilty. Do you know what his fine was for that?
$600.
$74. The next arrest was May 1994 for drunk driving. Now, this is really interesting. Ronald Dominique stayed in trouble with the law for stupid shit. Like at one bar, he ends up punching a woman in the face and gets like a very simple assault charge. However, most serial killers, when they're in their throes of killing their victims, when they're working in the area, killing their victims or whatever, they're going to stay clear away from any minor infractions. But that's not the case with Dominique. He still got arrested for minute shit all during his killing spree, which is kind of unique, for stupid shit like being drunk in public and stuff. Anyway, 2 years later, after the drunk driving incident, this is right before the killing started, 1996, a man flees from his bedroom window screaming, quote, "He's trying to kill me." He got 3 months in jail for rape. And this is one of the points that he tells detectives made him a serial killer. His stay in prison 1 year before he started murdering people. During his 3-month stint in prison, he was raped constantly by other prisoners, quote, making his anus particularly susceptible to splitting during sex, end quote.
So it's something he was used to.
Ouch.
I mean, yeah, ouch.
Yeah. So then he made his mind to never go back to jail. Well, I mean, he's in jail now, obviously.
So his ass is constantly getting split.
Okay. What the fuck?
He's in jail.
So the escalation phase for this guy happened after the Oliver murder, which was the fourth one. So, and because it goes from months, right? 5 months, the cooling down period for a serial killer, and it was 5 months and 6 months and 7 months. But after the Oliver LeBancs one, which we talked about first, he started escalating extremely quickly. He gets more confidence. He knows the cops aren't even fucking looking for him. And 15 days later, he kills a Joseph Brown. A month later, he kills a Bruce Williams. And I'll put all the victim pictures on talkmurder.com. They're all African-American, ranging from 15 years old to 40 years old. He killed a 21-year-old Manuel Reed. All of these victims are skinny black males that he can overpower. This guy was found on May 30th, 1999. Body was discovered inside a dumpster.
Oh, no. Why are you throwing them out like they're trash? They're not trash.
But that's what he wants to do. He wants to throw them out like they're trash. The trash lid was actually open. He wants people to find the bodies. The thing is, it's not the sex or even the killing. I mean, that's great, but if he can know that he is being appreciated in some way, that's what he wants. So he wants people to find the bodies. His MO slightly changed with a victim, Angel Mejia. This was a homeless man, and that was the first homeless man that he's killed, a 21-year-old, no address, last seen June 30th, 1999. He was tossed out, pants down, not off, but by his feet, his shirt off. He was found kind of tossed against the dumpster, just kind of laying there, right? So people are going to use that to dump their trash in. Obviously, people are going to find it. He vanishes New Year's Eve, 1999, and the police, they didn't even have a task force yet, even though he killed all these people. There were 2 detectives on it, but he just vanishes New Year's Eve, 1999. And if you're a serial killer, if you stop killing, unless you're like BTK, which he went he stopped killing for 10 years. If you stop killing, you might be in prison or you might be dead. This guy obviously moved down to one of the next parishes 40 miles down, living at his sister's house. New Year's Eve was the first body found in the new location, which sucks because you don't even make it to the year 2000. Y2K.
I remember that New Year's.
A victim was found laying across a wire fence.
Ooh.
And this is in his hometown that he grew up in, Dominique's. And the autopsy had linear abrasions on the right upper chest. So this guy's getting more brutal. He's starting to slash and shit like that. And after this, Ronald Dominique stopped killing for 2 years. So he puts and this is right at the airport too, where the wire fence is. He drapes a body over the wire fence. Everyone can see it on the interstate. Everyone can see it. After that, he stops for 2 years. Do you want to guess why he stops for 2 years?
Why?
Because he needs more money, so he becomes a pizza boy with Domino's. And at night, he's delivering Domino's pizza.
So he's too busy to murder anyone.
He is. He actually becomes a really good citizen after this, which I don't know what to think about it. He joins the local Lions Club. He's spending his weekends. I don't know what Domino's did to him, but they changed him for a little bit. Then he fucking escalated back.
Their cheesy bread is on point. And their cinnamon sticks.
I do love me some cheesy bread, period.
But he stopped killing for 2 years. He joins the local Lions Club. He starts volunteering. He spends his entire weekends at the bingo halls calling out numbers for old people. It's fucking crazy.
Aww,
this guy
that's nice, I guess.
Literally,
shit. What the fuck?
He has stopped killing people all together, and then all of a sudden he starts back. I don't know what the fuck.
Maybe he got mad about something.
Maybe. The next victim was a Jenneth Randolph, 146 Charter Court off Bayou Blue Road. This was right down the street from him, literally the next door neighbor.
Wow.
This guy was a pedophile, and he was a felon for raping kids multiple times over, a felon, and he was found raped and murdered himself. So that's basically the Bayou Strangler. He was caught, obviously, with the DNA. They pulled the DNA. They got a confession. He came right out and confessed. No one has really heard about this case because of Katrina. He was arrested in 2006, but Katrina happened, I think August 2005 or something like that. And that news was going on until like 2007 or something. I remember it was going on for years. So you didn't even hear about this guy, plus the fact that he's killing prostitutes, plus the fact that he's a homosexual, killing other homosexuals, doesn't really make the news as much. And that's kind of why, but mostly because of the Katrina thing.
Right.
So how exactly did he get caught from all...
Well, there was two detectives. If you read the book, there were two detectives that joined forces. They were from the different parishes, and they linked the serial killer together. And then they put up a surveillance on him. They pulled DNA from LeBancs, which was the first victim we were talking about.
Yep.
And that was mitochondrial DNA. And they arrested him. They tailed him, arrested him, and then he just confessed, and showed all the bodies. They got all the bodies. Stuff like that.
And his sentence is
life in prison. Yeah, he'll be in life in prison.
Good.
He's locked up, but yeah, that's it. That's pretty much. That's pretty much the Bayou Strangler. Any details that I really didn't mention? I used the source of that one book by Fred Rosen. So if he didn't put it in there, I honestly didn't mention it because that was the source I used for this episode. But I hope you guys liked that, enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Kind of a different one. The next serial killer we're going to be talking about is known as the Raincoat Killer.
Ooh.
Shit. And there's actually a pretty creepy pasta legend about the killer.
Creepy linguine?
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty interesting. that will be on Thursday, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not.
And you should be.
Yeah. Also subscribe to the new podcast, What Happened To? Disappearances and Strange Happenings that are unsolved. I put that podcast to lo-fi hip-hop beats, and it's really relaxing to listen to, and it's still true crime. I think you guys will love it. There's like 5 or 6 episodes out now. And also go to talkocast.com/win to enter the contest. A $300 mystery box is going out. There's still 3 weeks, and you can rack up, I think, all in all, like 10 entries for yourself. Plus, you can use your wife's or your hubby's account, get another 10 more. So be sure to do that and win that. There's not going to be a ton of people that enter that. So you have a really good chance, guys. And the prizes in that box are handpicked by me and Brianne, and they are great. I am jealous of those things. There's some really great things up in that box.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
Like, I'm
things.
super jealous.
Yeah. So I
may steal a thing or two. Just kidding.
I'm gonna enter into it.
You know you're not.
Can does Jen have to be excluded from?
Yes, she's excluded.
I'll get my friends to enter.
Yeah, so check that out. And this, like I said, Talk Murder podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we release episodes 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also support us on Patreon. We do live videos every week. Besides this week, we're taking 1 week off, but those are on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We record live and talk to you guys live. And that's all I got. So until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.